Hello guys, thank you so much for coming back again. And I'm over here talking to one of my buddies and he told me to decide to make a tutorial on the basics of magic. Well, before I did that I was like, I don't know if they'll like it, and then I actually have a reason to make one now, so I can give a shout out to my awesomely awesome one subscriber, my first subscriber. So thank you so much for subscribing, man. You made my day. Man or woman, I don't really know yet. I haven't checked, or if I even can check. But I'm going to go ahead and make this tutorial and try to make this a little quick. Alright, so the basics of magic: you have a minimum of 60 cards in a deck. You'd want to keep around the 60 card as much as you can. And well, the basic thing is you start out with 7 cards in your hand. I'm holding this camera with my hand, so you gotta cut me some slack. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So I'll spread these out for you. How I do it is I always separate my mana with mana and my others with others. Okay. So we're gonna start out with mana. Okay. Mana is what we use to cast creatures, spells, or enchantments, sorceries, all that, fun stuff, the cool stuff. But you always play a mana unless it's like the only card in your hand. So you always play your mana. And see, I've got what they call 1-drops in my hand. I've actually started out, this was not, I promise you, was not stacked. I started out with 2 1-drops, which are amazing. I got a Rakdos Cackler, which I'll be using. So what you do is you tap your mana, and tapping means you're using your mana, okay? Don't let that trick you. And play my Rakdos Cackler. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you know the Rakdos Cackler is a 1/1 for 1, and it has the ability Unleash. Unleash, if you don't know, is the +1/+1 counter, which gives him into a 2/2 that cannot block. So that would be your end of your turn, because he doesn't have haste, which is another ability that lets them attack on their first turn. Okay, so blah blah blah, the other person would do what they want to do. You untap your mana, you draw your card. Okay, you always place your next mana. Now this is what I would do. My recommendation would be to just swing. Okay, I'll show you what they are for strategic reasons later. So you swing, he'll take 2. So now you only have 20 life, so you're down to, or they're down to 18. Okay. So they do their turn and all that stuff. So you always untap your mana, untap your creatures, and tap everything you had to tap the last turn, unless there was something played on his turn or your turn saying that you cannot tap it or not untap it during your upkeep. So you draw your card, you place your mana. Now this is where strategy comes in. I'm running a red deck, a red mono burn deck. So this is what you would do. You'll tap 2 mana and you'll play this card here. It's called Lightning Strike. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Now since we're not really playing, I'm just teaching you. We'll just do it to the player. So it does 3 damage to the player. Tap your last mana you have. Use Shock, which does 2 damage, so you're doing 5 damage, and then swinging for 2, so you're doing for 7 damage out of 20, and he was already down to 18, so he's down to 11. That's the basics of attacking and setting up your strategic advantage. Now for blocking, let me see if I can get me a card out here from another deck. Now say there's a guy. Now this is how this works. This is a little bit more confusing. Now say the guy's willing to attack, okay? Now, of course, if you're down to, okay, say I'm down to my last health and I have nothing in my hand, okay, and all I've got is this Rakdos Cackler. He's not unleashed in this general typic. He's only a 1/1. Now, if the other opponent swung at me with a 1/4, which is what that is, if I don't block, see, you don't attack creatures. You do not attack creatures, you attack the other person. And there's also, for instance, like this, it says shock deals 2 damage to target creature or person. Well, you can choose on that one, but you don't attack creatures unless you have a spell saying otherwise. The creatures attack the opponent, and you can choose to block or not. So if he swung, I had really no choice if I was down to 1 life, so I'd have to block. When you block, your creatures do not tap. I just, that's a visual reference saying I'm blocking with that guy. So basically what would happen is, since he can do more damage than I can to him, my creature would die. But I'm alive for another round. Now, if I really wanted to try here, I'll show you something right here. My hand, if I had the same hand I had last time, and I had my 3 mana, all I'd have to do is tap 1, shock for 2 to him, tap my other 2, and lightning strike him. So I'm doing 5 damage to a creature that only has 4 defense. So that way his creature would die, and it's basically restarting, but all we have is more mana. Alright guys, I hope you understand the basic tutorial. I'll probably do more advanced stuff later. I will see you guys later. Please like and subscribe. Bye. And once again guys, thank you so much, and whoever that was that subscribed to me, thank you so very, very much. You made my day. See y'all.